Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Debategate here at the High Stakes Sports Debates Network. It feels like an eternity, at least for me, since I've done another video, so I'm back. I'm really happy to be back into the grind of things, and we are joined today by the editor of Rebel Media, Lars Lewis, and we're talking NFL quarterbacks today. 3 up and 3 down in the NFL because it's such a fluid situation. We all know that. Lars, my friend, how are you today, brother?
Oh, I'm doing great. It's going to be awesome to talk football this time since the last time we covered the Lakers. And we have a very interesting topic, and I think you'll be very surprised of the 3 I have that's up right now in the NFL.
Right, and again, we talked about it. So many hot quarterbacks in the NFL right now. A lot of people are saying, and have been saying for a long time, that there's just a real lack of consistent quarterback play in the NFL, and I got to think the opposite. I think right now, with some of the young talent that's really kind of entered the league over the last couple seasons, that we're starting to see a lot of teams find their guy, find their franchise guy through these drafts, and we're starting to see these teams put talent around these quarterbacks, and they're starting to look pretty good. So, Lars, hit me with your 3 up, baby. Who do you got right now that's just lighting the league on fire and doing their thing?
Well, actually, I'm going to go a route for new guys that are on the rise. And we all know Tom Brady. We all know,
exactly.
Aaron Rodgers and these guys. They're all elite. But I want to bring up 3 guys that I believe are going to be quite talented in the future years.
Right.
The first one I'm going to bring up is obviously Derek Carr from the Oakland Raiders.
Stud. Just flat out stud.
Yeah, he's not just great on the field. His fantasy, he's like what, top 8 in fantasy this year?
I think for
a
quarterback-wise.
second-year quarterback, that's crazy, especially in Oakland when no more than 2 years ago, Oakland was essentially buried by the NFL when they were under Dennis Allen.
Right. And Lane Kiffin and just the myriad of coaching staffs that has come through this franchise. I really like Derek Carr. I'm a fan of his. I think he's got one of the best arms in this game at 24 years old. You talk about his ability to look off safeties already. He's already using his mind to try to beat defenses. I love his prowess in the pocket. Not an overly physical guy, but he makes up for it with good pocket presence. He's good at stepping up, and he's just got a wicked arm, man, and he just delivers fantastic footballs. I'm totally in love and smitten by Derek Carr, and I think you made a comment to me, and I want to know if you stand by this. I think you said in 5 years he'll be the best quarterback in football. Do you still stand by that statement, Lars?
Absolutely. I will not waver from that. He is the future of the NFL. And I think maybe when Andrew Luck gets healthy again, and I think this is just a bad year for the Colts.
Right.
Every team goes through a bad year.
Because I'm still on the Andrew Luck bandwagon. This guy looks like the real deal. But again,
and I still am. But Derek Carr's ceiling is so freaking high. And the reason why I'm putting him as the top guy in 5 years, Amari Cooper. T.Y. Hilton came a little earlier than Amari, and the fact that T.Y. has actually been through some injuries lately.
T.Y. is not Amari, though.
Yeah, Amari is a top 5 talent.
But then we can say that, Lux doesn't have the talent that Derek Carr has. Listen, Crabtree's not a scrub. He's a great number 2 wide receiver.
Yeah, look at his numbers the last 3 or 4
Yeah,
games.
He's been killing it right now. Andrew Luck, I wouldn't say that he's had a number 2 receiver of the caliber of a Michael Crabtree. You talk about Andre Johnson looking like a bust. T.Y. Hilton, you've had Dante Moncrief's kind of been the 2, and while I think Moncrief's talented, I wouldn't put him in the tier of a Michael Crabtree. What do you think?
Nah, I wouldn't think so either.
No, yeah.
The one issue I think with Crabtree was that he didn't fit in San Francisco's style.
And Colin Kaepernick sucks. Let's just be upfront about that.
Well, yeah, and it's a testament to the job that Harbaugh did while in San Francisco to compensate. But back to Derek Carr, he's had 5 games this year of over 300 yards. He's had 4 touchdowns twice, and that's over the last 3 weeks. And you know who he had those 4 touchdowns against? the Jets.
Right. Big team, big team. Also, Derek Carr leads the NFL in completions over 20 yards. So
Yeah, he's like you said, he's got a bomb.
Bomb. So who's another one of your up guys, Lars?
Tyrod Taylor.
Tyrod Taylor. I did not expect that one coming, but I'm a fan. Why don't you talk about Tyrod, though? That's your guy.
Well, yeah, I know that's somewhat biased being a Bills fan, but at the same time, I think Tyrod, you notice when he's in there for Buffalo compared to what E.J. Manuel did in those 2 weeks when Tyrod was out.
Right.
The offense is far more stable, it's organized, and the reason why I'm putting him up there is because he's extremely smart with the football.
Right.
He doesn't take unnecessary chances. However, sometimes I do blame Greg Roman for making him run the ball when he doesn't need to. I saw that last week against the Jets.
Yeah.
Tyrod, and you want to talk about deep balls?
Oh, it's a beautiful.
He throws maybe the prettiest deep ball in the league.
Yeah. I wouldn't go that far, but he's up there. He's up there.
Woo.
Guy reminds me of Russell Wilson to a certain extent. Just the ability to throw with touch. I think that's Wilson's best aspect of a passer, in my opinion, is just touch throws. And I see that from Tyrod almost on a consistent basis. He'll have bad throws, but he throws the ball really well and I've always, had this adage about mobile quarterbacks is a mobile quarterback's best weapon is his arm, because if you can consistently throw the ball down the field when you're ready to use your legs, the opposition's not going to expect it.
Yeah, they can obviously hit the second level without much issue.
Right.
And you look at Tyrod this year, he has a 70% completion percentage.
Exactly.
I think that's what was it? Is that first in the NFL?
It's up there. Now
he's got to be top 3.
The only knock you can make on that is that he's not asked to throw 35 plus times a game, but it's still an impressive feat, I have to admit.
Yeah. And I think maybe the less times you throw, actually it's harder to get that percentage because there's such a drastic drop off between, let's say he throws it 15 times, completes maybe 8 of them. He's only got a 60-some percent. Compared if he throws it 35, 40 times and he gets it about, maybe 28 to 30, he's got about at least a 70-some percent.
Right. My thing with Tyrod Taylor is, can he stay healthy for a full season? And right now his injuries haven't affected this Bills team because they're still in a position to make the playoffs, but you got to stay healthy, kid.
Yeah, I also think I could put blame on some of the offensive line play this season.
Oh, definitely.
Tyrod in certain games has been getting killed.
Definitely.
Back there, and that's especially on the right side of the line. Shawtrell Henderson had to miss a game, and John Miller is great of a running offensive guard and tackle. He can't pass block anything.
Right.
He's been getting blown up every week, and he's rated actually as the second worst guard in the NFL.
Right. Who's your final up guy, Lars?
Kirk Cousins?
No way. I got to hear what you have to say. This is crazy.
Yes, Kirk Cousins.
This is crazy.
It's not just because he threw 4 TDs against the Saints, because obviously I think you and I could go out there and maybe get 1 or 2. But
yeah.
I looked at the last 3 weeks he's played, and I think the Bucs aren't. I think the Bucs are no joke this year. At 4-5, they're solid. Their defense is not that bad.
They're Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It's they'll show up one week and then they're gone the next.
And that's the case. That's the case for the young team, especially with Jameis under center, which I think he'll be good in the future. But
I agree. Yeah.
Kirk Cousins, I think, has finally grasped the offense, because you look at these last 3 weeks. 2 out of those 3, because obviously they played the Patriots. Nobody's beaten the Patriots, but against the Bucs and the Saints, his completion percentage is 81%.
Right.
81.
Listen, I hear you. That's great, but
That's
again,
insane.
he's a roller coaster, though, Lars. I mean, you'll get 4 touchdowns against the Saints. Can you show me that in December you can carry this Washington team? Because let's face it, their defense is inconsistent. Sure, they're putting up decent points. They're stopping the Saints, who only scored 14 points, but at a certain point against these competing teams, can you hang in there with the Rodgers? Can you hang in there with the Panthers? Can you hang in there with the Cardinals. I don't think that Kirk Cousins can go into an Arizona, play against some of these top-tier quarterbacks, and get wins. I'm just not sold. Heck, look what Eli Manning did on Thursday Night Football. Made Kirk look like a joke. I'm with you. I think Kirk's good. I'm just not sold on his consistency, and he will turn the ball over. Just wait. I'm telling you it'll happen. Don't be a prisoner of the moment with this kid. He's not too athletic, doesn't really have a strong arm. He relies on basically being able to thrive within this Jay Gruden system and making good decisions. Problem is, he doesn't make the good decisions consistently. He'll throw the ball away.
Well, I can agree with your points, but the one thing I will defend Kirk Cousins is this. Look at the state of the Redskins in general. The franchise itself is a mess. They blew all their draft picks on Griffin, which ended up being a very poor decision.
Yeah.
They had to move on from Shanahan, who did a lot more damage than people think he did.
Right.
And this Redskins team is pretty much held on by paper clips and bubble gum. And Jay Gruden was given a thankless task of trying to reassemble this. And I think that this year, I think as the season goes on, when Cousins gets more comfortable in the offense, because I think he's a guy that Gruden likes. It's kind of a guy that Gruden wants as his quarterback. Because the Redskins, if they want to succeed, run Alfred Morris, solid defense, have Cousins make the throws he has to. And it's very simple. And I think that they can do that, especially in a bad division as the NFC East is.
And I'm with you. I just don't think that, and I guess it goes to what you just said, there's not enough on this team to help Kirk Cousins. I don't think Kirk Cousins make people around him better. I think with all the right pieces in place, maybe on his best day, he just woke up on the right side of the bed that morning. Sure, he can get it done for you. But if I'm a betting man, I'm just not betting into Cousins. But he has had a pretty good season. In my personal opinion, the Washington Redskins will address their quarterback issues in this upcoming year's draft. High Stakes Sports Debates.